Okay, my name's Fallon. I worked on The Fallen Fellow. And one thing to remember our film by, I would remember Falling from the Sky.
I'm Rachel from the Eurovision. Our film was Last Sounds, and basically the sound disappears.
So I'm Grant from S21 Studios. Our one was the podcast where the guy interviews weirdos at work, and it was a one-shot sequence where he follows a serial killer.
I'm Lily. I'm from the Underwater Weirdos from Outer Space. Don't know why we picked that name, but our film was in the water, and the water was very cold.
Hi, I'm Keegan. I worked on Pray Tell Me with Film Garden. I guess one thing to remember our film by was just basically The Hunt, if you've ever watched that, but slightly better.
Hello everyone, I'm Rich. I'm with Dead Mountain Productions. The full title of our film, which I'll try and get right, is The Disappearance of Jem Jasper. Did Bigfoot eat my co-worker, Jem Jasper, who is obsessed with Bigfoot and also works with me? And hopefully that's enough to help remember it.
So first of all, filmmakers, can you each think about a challenge that you overcame during the weekend? It could be something funny that happened on set, or maybe it was the editing, any challenge that you overcame. And we'll start with you, Rich.
I'll go first. Power of the mic in my hands. I guess our biggest challenge came at the very start. So this is the first 48-hour film project we've ever done. Definitely not the last. And our challenge actually came in the first few hours, where we'd originally had 4 cast members ready to go joining the film. And in the first 8 to 10 hours, 3 out of 4 of those dropped out. So it was a tricky challenge to find actors. You may have seen one that looks a lot like this face, and also Steve Buscemi, weirdly enough, in the eyes. But we also had 2 other actors join, Fiona Jane and Anya, who Anya literally turned up with 5 minutes to learn lines and just rocked it. So thank you to those 2. They were real lifesavers, but it was a challenge to begin with, but we got there.
I think for us, I kind of started echoing what he said. Started at the beginning a little bit, where the build up to the weekend, we were very excited. We were all very confident, and then we got the genre pick, and it was a bit of a, okay, what are we doing from here? We had a few people who, we kind of never made a movie, like pretty much most of us haven't. So it was a lot harder than we thought it was going to be, that's for sure. But I think probably the second day, that's when we really started to get a flow going, and our confidence really kind of ramped up from there. But yeah, super enjoyable, and looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I think for us the biggest challenge was it was also our first ever 48-hour film, and we've also never made any other kind of film. We also had somebody who was going to be acting in it, who then couldn't do it the whole day because we decided to drive about 120 miles north to film in my hometown of Kinlochbervie, which Kinlochbottom is loosely based on. So yeah, just making a film and the time pressures that came with it, obviously travelling took up a lot of time, and editing in a car is rough.
I think for us, one challenge we kind of had to overcome was that we kind of knew how big our team was going to be, but when the script was written, we kind of realised that a lot of those people had to now act. So it meant that we had one person manning the camera and the sound and the boom, keeping it all monitored, keeping everything in focus, keeping everything out of the right aperture, because we go from outside of a house to inside of a house, which anyone that does cinematography can probably know how annoying that can be, especially if you're doing it in one take. So yeah, I would probably say doing all that at once was a bit of a handful.
A lot of things actually went wrong for our 48. You might have noticed that the camera quality changes. Basically, we had, going into this, I knew we were going to lose 2 hours of the shoot because we had to go to a screening, which is not a bad problem to have, but so the camera decided it didn't want to turn on after those 2 hours. So I had to jimmy up a rig so I could film it on my phone. And I don't know, like, there's a lot wrong with the film because my computer also crashed. So it's very lucky that it even exists at this point.
One of the challenges was filming the fall. At first we thought, okay, we could do it in like a box and then we could, film someone coming out of the box. But our actor who played the fallen fellow said, no, I'm just gonna jump on the ground. And it took like 4 takes of him jumping from a chair just onto the ground, which I'm sure was not very comfortable. Big shout out to our director also and cameraman, Billy Morrison. He did a lot of editing. He did, almost all the post-production. And our sound guy, big shout out to him. I mainly just acted, but big shout out to the team.
When we pretty quickly realised that a lot of the sound just wasn't going to be usable, and we ended up having to do kind of voiceovers in the end for my lines because obviously, very loud. We just happened to get very lucky. There was no tourists around, but we could see a German family approaching in their wetsuits. We were like, okay, we have to do this and get it done before they were like desperate to get in the water. So, it was a challenge, but I'm glad that we did it.
And Lily, you really braved the elements, and we were talking in the first screening about some of the physical challenges people undertake in this sport, because it is cinema design a sport, isn't it? Can you just tell us just a little bit about that water and what it was like?
Yeah, it was a lot choppier than I was hoping it was going to be. So basically, like every 20th wave or so was massive. So it was a case of just like lying down, floating, hoping for the best. And then, because I also couldn't hear anything that John and our director, Stephen, were saying to me because I was in the water. So couldn't hear if, when to get in and when to get out. So, logistically quite challenging and very cold. I never would normally go in the beach, like in the water, just for fun. So,
It's kind of for everyone, but we've talked about challenges, but I'd love to know something positive that you've experienced that you're always going to remember and take away from this and think back and go, wow, that happened.
That's a lovely question. So why don't we start with yourself, Lily, if you're okay, and let's just have everybody say something positive about your filmmaking weekend that you might take with you as a memory.
I think probably the best thing for us was just doing it. My husband John and his friend Stephen have been talking for quite a few years about wanting to do one of these projects, it was really nice to just finally do it and to prove that we could do it, even though we're all kind of perfectionists in our own little way, and we just had to let go of that a bit and just submit what we had, and I was actually very pleased with how it came out. So
I think for us we were pretty much family, so when we went into it and we came out of it, it really sort of just strengthened our relationships, and we just had a lot of fun regardless of the outcome. It was a blast, and we took a lot from it, and we're looking forward to doing another one again very soon.
Thank you first of all to my wife for asking that really stumping question. I think for me it was a kind of mix of discovery and fun. Of most of the team I'd not worked with before. Amazing crew, some of the best crew that we could have had. My co-director Callum was fantastic, and what I learned was the way in which we both directed together really helped the process, because I'm more of a finding those fine details, taking time with things, which in 48 hours is maybe not the best quality to have, I don't know, maybe. While Callum could see that vision and knew how to go for it, and was really good at being able to keep me on track to get the shots that we really needed. And I think in the end we came together in such a way as directors that helped the film out and made it what we're really proud of, which is what you've seen on screen. So yeah, and we had fun doing it.
I think for me is so when we wrote our script, we didn't actually have all our cast members at that point. Paul, who played our Jim, he joined at I think 9:30 at night after the kickoff once the script was written, and he got to see it maybe 2 hours before we started shooting. And his first words were, "Do I need to remember all this?" I was like, "You don't have to, but it'd be great if you could." And after about 45 minutes, he came through and went, "Yeah, I got it." So, the fact that he was able to memorize 4.5 pages was kind of cool, and I will definitely be working with him again. So, yeah.
I guess my favourite thing was that we managed to manifest the dinner we wanted, but also it was really nice that I made everyone from Glasgow come down to where I live for once. And it's not even where I live, I'm still like 40 minutes away from home, but it was quite, I don't have to drive an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was just, there was a lot of laughs, and I already knew most of the team. There were 2 sibling pairs. Well, there was me and my 2 sisters, and then my sister's boyfriend and his brother, and then so 2 sibling teams. That was a lot of fun, and it's just a lot of fun to get to know everyone and figure everything out together, try new things.
My question is for everyone: was there any moments on set where you just thought, "Let's just roll with it and see what happens"?
Yeah, for us, there were several moments like that, and I think the sort of openness to improvising it turned out really well. I think those takes and that sort of attitude kept it fun, and it kept it more natural, and
I don't know. I think, so we had the idea about Bird, maybe if we could find it, but then I was like, screw it, let's just go and attempt to make fake Bird, and it worked out okay. And just randomly filming near the end because we were running out of time.
I think it was, the thing about when you're doing a one-shot sequence is it gets a bit boring after a while, so we kind of just went, right, does anybody have any ideas for doing weird stuff? So we did one take where everyone overacted. We had one where the girl who's finding out her father is being killed has the most deadpan reaction. We tried every sort of weird thing, and I'm kind of glad the one we used kind of had a bit of everything.
So we had quite a lot of ambitious camera work that ended up being in the film, which was not really the plan initially when we were coming up with the plot or the script or anything. So the kind of shaky camera that happens every time that the woman is somewhere near, that was done using 2 different cameras, and very ambitious, but my husband John and Stephen, they're very good with a camera, and they made it work, and it came out really well. We also did a multi-cam kind of thing at the end with the podcasters, which was also, I think, quite a challenge to edit, but I think it came out really well. We were basically just kind of doing it all, being like, we'll see what it looks like. If it turns out shit, it turns out shit. So.
I'll start this off by giving a big shout out to our director, Cameron. He had the absolute patience of a saint. He, probably wrote that script. Certainly didn't get enough sleep that night, but he wrote the script probably within 4 or 5 hours. And we all turned up the next day, completely throwing it out the window. We quickly realized that none of us were going to go by the script, and that we were just going to say whatever we wanted and then leave it up to him to edit. I think he did get a few gray hairs by the time it was all over, but I think that was pretty much the process for us. It was just have fun with it, do what felt right in the moment, and that's where we ended up.
Is it valid to say all of it? Is that? No, we had a couple of moments. So we filmed here at Eden Court for the interview sections in McLean Room. We perhaps foolishly decided to do it during the sound checks of Under Canvas. So we had that going on in the background, and we kind of got to a moment where we considered, okay, do we wait and reshoot, or do we just roll with it? And ultimately we decided we have the lapel mics, we have the equipment to be able to try and dull that sound out, let's just roll with it. And I'm happy that in the end we were able to cut out most of that sound. Hopefully you didn't hear it. And yeah, that kind of improvisational quality as well, that we gave the crew sort of set answers to the questions we'd be asking, but we let them, kind of the cast, improvise around it, and it really helped us out. And we kind of went into this really with just 2 camera shots we definitely wanted to do, and that was the dolly zoom and the fake split diopter, which when we were filming it again, we just decided, you know what, we're just going to roll with it and just see if it works. And we're happy with the end result. Which
I was just to ask on the Warp Productions.
Excuse me, they're called Underwater Weirdos from Outer Space. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now,
perfect.
is there water in outer space? This is a question we need to consider.
That's for you to wonder.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
I was just to ask, what was the inspiration for the film, and is there a place like back in your deep subconscious where you feel that, like the film, you're kind of there, but yet you're not at the same time?
Yeah, so I mean, the inspiration for the film, there wasn't really anything in particular. We came up with an idea kind of on the way out of the genre picking and everything, and we had all these plans to like do a brainstorm and, you know, then pick from the best idea, but we just decided to go with that one specific one because it felt easier. So yeah, we basically just stuck with that, and then it kind of built honestly as we were going, and even as we were filming it, we also didn't have too much of a structure planned, and the script also was more or less improvised. So yeah, we just kind of rolled with it as it went on. And yeah, as for the place, so I grew up in Kinlochbervie where it was filmed, and I definitely feel a lot like it is definitely a place that stays with you when you're from such a rural Highland area. It's very beautiful, but it is also very sparse and isolated sometimes, so I think that it definitely builds character growing up somewhere like that. And yeah, I think it does kind of always stay with you a little bit, so I guess that did kind of make its way into the film, that feeling.
Well, yeah.
I was going to get Grant to talk us through the one take, and you know, I think this is not your first 40, so I'd like you to compare the experience. Like, was it more what you gained in not having to edit? You know, how was it?
So we weren't originally 100% sure if we were going to do a one take. It was mostly down to like actors' availabilities. They were only free for half a day, and we were like, what's the easiest thing to shoot? And it's a one-shot sequence, so we kind of knew probably around the kickoff that that's what we were going to do. And one thing I've learned is practice, because 2 years ago we did our very first one take, and was it 33 attempts we had at it, and we used the 32nd. This time we only ran through it twice. We gave the actors lots of rehearsals and the amount of like giving them plenty of opportunities to go through it. And yeah, thankfully they were able to hit their marks pretty much spot on as soon as the camera was rolling, which was very helpful.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. I didn't even realise it was a one take until we were told. So well done.
Yeah, and it took a few issues, because obviously when you're trying to get a camera to go from outside to inside, that was quite a, like, if anything, I was the one that was messing up, and you could see, I was like, please don't be angry at me, I'm trying to do sound and camera at the same time. But yeah, just practice it in the morning, basically.
Trilogy, and are you planning to like your next film also connected?
So I've got two answers for that. Yes, it is. We've kind of, and it's got, I don't know what the official name for it, but it's kind of like our Inverness universe, basically, where all the films are going to be related to them. And it wasn't until I was editing it, but we actually referenced 5 of our previous films. So there's, when he's interviewing the puppet, we used that in a film last year. The guy crawling through the bushes was a reference to our very first 48 hour we ever did. And then there's the crazy director in the tree, which was from our Manchester one from last year. So
it's the Highland Psycho Killer universe, or the S21 universe, which is incredible. Grant, just to let you know, did all 4. Well, you actually made 6 40-hour films last year.
7.
Oh, goodness. So if you need advice on 48-hour films, he's your man. Right, we can do one more question, and then we'll have a lovely food and drink break, and we've got some networking games. Ooh, right. Does anybody have a final question? Yes.
The Fallen Fellow, is it?
Sure,
Yeah.
yes, that's it.
I was just wondering how you went about idea brainstorming to come to such a dreamscapey, almost like the podcast was reading a children's book, and it all feels like a sort of liminal landscape, very dreamlike. I wonder how do you even get to that point?
I'm really glad that you mentioned that about the children's book, because our writer said many times, in the direction, we want it to feel like this is sort of the vibe, children's book, strange children's book. But yeah, we had 2 official writers. One was my sister Riza, and the other one was James Morrison. And James wasn't with us at the kickoff, but basically the plan was we'd call him as he rode up on the train and just kind of brainstorm, especially the 2 of them. And one of his first ideas, well, straight away, all of us were sort of on the same page that we wanted it to be sort of have a surreal element. And then when he called, he mentioned things falling from the sky. And I think from there, that gave us a pretty solid basis to base the whole thing. So then they wrote James and Riza pretty much wrote the whole script in the first night. And then afterwards, with some editing, we had to do some timing. So we edited the text a little bit. But yeah, pretty much the whole story they came up with in a couple hours. Yeah.
So creative.